I was listening to a Bashar session recently, and the one thing he said about 2020 is he says, 2020 is gonna be nuts. And that's what he said. And in this video, I'm gonna share with you those three things that you gotta know, these three patterns for 2020 that will guarantee you to have an exponential shift in your life in a very powerful way, so that as well you don't start to experience some of the negative timelines of things that could happen. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm gonna be sharing with you those three things on the energy patterns you can become aware of that change everything for 2020. And one of the first ones that I've recognized with this is that of a power dynamic that's going to be balanced in this year of 2020. Now, this is gonna happen both at a collective level and you'll see it happen at an individual level as well. And I see this happening in so many different people's lives. Now let me explain to you a little bit about what I mean, and maybe share a little bit of a story, maybe even kind of like a personal story about this. So there is a certain power dynamic when it comes to certain people taking advantage of other people. And I think that this power dynamic has gone on for a very long period of time because in a way, both parties are playing a certain role. Maybe you have someone in your life that kind of manipulates you, makes you feel a certain way, you put up with their stuff, and you feel like it emotionally drains you. Maybe you have someone in your life that just controls how you are and how they expect you to be. Maybe you have someone in your life that's kind of like a narcissist. I'm always so surprised because I share those videos on YouTube, the ones on the narcissists and sociopaths, and I made a couple videos on those, and I get so many people that reach out to me, and it's much more common than I even thought. Now, for example, let me share with you one of these. My dad and my sister, who I love very much. My sister, so maybe some of you know about like my whole ex-stepmom situation with the abusive ex-stepmom between the ages of 7 to 15 years old. She was in my life. My dad divorced her when I was 15 years old. Then my brother and I became free. We went from having no freedom at all, not able to have friends, we had to earn going to school activities, not able to do normal kid stuff like watch TV, and even the food that we ate, we had to like sneak food because we were only given a bowl of cereal in the morning and then TV dinner at night. So all of a sudden, 15 years old comes around, my brother and I have all this freedom, and it's amazing. And the thing is though, is that was my ex-stepmom. My sister, she's my half-sister, same dad, different mom, that was their mom, that's her mom. She has been having to deal with that same, who was my stepmom, it's her actual mom. And she's been trying to get away from her own mom because her mom is so manipulative and so controlling, but it's been very hard for her to do because her mom will lie about things, and if they go to court about it, she'll lie and say that certain things aren't true. It's a lot. She's been, my little sister, who's like 17 years old, has been through so much. She's so strong. But so these last like couple years, it's been extraordinarily difficult for her to gain her power back, and for her to go to and just like she just wants to stay at my dad's. She just doesn't want to have to go to her mom's because of the way her mom is, and because her mom lies at the courts, it's like she still gets kind of in a way forced to go. However, I always wondered, and my dad always wondered, and she always wondered, like, how does that ex-stepmom of mine or their mom get away with so much? She gets away with so much. She'll go to court and she'll lie about things. She'll treat people a certain way. I mean, she's done things as far as, you know, my little sister was at her house like 2 weeks ago and she hadn't eaten yet. And her mom was like, nope, you're not eating any food here. Your dad should have fed you, or something like that. Something really weird like that. So she went to bed with no food, you know. And it's crazy that things like that can happen and nothing, you know, there's a whole court system involved, but then she'll lie about it and say she didn't say it. So it's a very complicated thing. However, what I can see happening in 2020 is all of her cards falling down. The energy dynamic that was in play for so long is getting ready to crumble on top of her, and I can see that. I can see that because my sister made the choice that she's not going to go back to her mom's, and she's 17. So by the time the court system did, you know, they did go, it'd be months and months away probably. So she'll buy herself a little bit of time of not having to be around her. However, what I find very interesting is is I can see that people in general that have that narcissistic or that power dynamic, I can see their cards falling in 2020. The energy dynamic that's at play is a year of balance for this year. And that's not just her life. I've talked to other people. I went to a retreat recently, my buddy Victor's, and there was like, out of the 20 people there were 2 or 3 people that have had to deal with a power dynamic like that, with having like a narcissist in their life like that. Somebody that's controlling, or somebody that has those kind of personality traits. And every single one of them I talked to, it was very apparent that things are getting ready the cards are getting ready to fall for some people. And it's because I think that the energy is so high now on the planet in general, and we are coming more in our power. You know, my sister decided she's not going back to her mom's, even though, you know, it's see how that plays out. But she decided that. It's like almost like she's like, I've had enough. I'm not dealing with this anymore. You know, not gonna have to deal with my mom sending my friends text messages pretending to be me to try to embarrass me. That's crazy. But that's the power dynamic that's been at play. And so, sometimes you get people that might be, 45 years old, 50 years old, but may still be a teenager, But the energy dynamic in plays of people that are bullies, people, and even companies. I think that company I used to work for, Barney's New York, there were certain power dynamics at the one that I worked at that you could see weren't really in alignment. Certain levels of control, certain levels of manipulation, and that ended up going bankrupt, It was, I think that the integrity is more important than ever in 2020. And I think that power dynamics, even at government levels, you'll see certain things begin to manifest for them that really puts them into certain states. And from there, it's up to us to really just be in our own power. That's the message for 2020. I think it's going to be huge for anyone dealing with that kind of power dynamic, that kind of struggle. And I think that that 2020, it's about really just being in your power altogether, and that's one of the energy patterns that I've noticed. So let's go. I'm gonna go ahead and go inside. I'll show you the second energy dynamic. Now, the second energy dynamic that will make 2020 huge for you has to do with understanding that for many people, it may be a year of going more within. I recently went to, it was the Conor McGregor fight here in Las Vegas, and I live in Las Vegas, and I had a lot of buddies that I went over to their house, and there was a whole bunch of my buddies from high school there, and I can't tell you how many of them have started to become more aware of this spiritual information, coming up wanting to tell me these stories, these synchronicities they're having. They're becoming more aware of their thoughts and how that affects their experience. They're changing their mindsets around different things. They're craving an internal sense of awareness in a way. And one thing that I noticed for many people is that 2020 may be a year of going within and doing the changes within yourself, growing more on the inside. And even like I know recently Lior posted something to her email list, and she said that for her 2020 is going to be a year of her learning. She's like learning hypnosis, she's learning yoga, she's learning, she wants to do retreats and like bring women together and people together. And a lot of what she's doing though is going within and learning. I think that even for me, there are certain aspects of my life that I'm really going within and kind of becoming more aware of certain aspects of myself. And I think that for 2020, it's very important because there's been so many people, and I see this as well when I was talking to my group of friends, there's some of them that are trying to make changes in their life. And what they're doing is they're trying to change the outside. They're trying to change the outside. They're getting tired from trying to change the outside. Oh, if I could just do this, and trying to change it from the outside. And the thing is what I can see the pattern is the key is to flip that around and to change from the inside out. That's the powerful energy of 2020 and what it has to offer. And I think people that keep trying to change on the outside will continue to create more and more resistance, create more and more maybe less preferable synchronicity. However, if we go and we focus more on changing on the inside, healing within ourselves, I think that then the outer reality will begin to change anyways. But I can see that certain people are being pushed in that direction of going within, and that there's many people that are in that boat. So like I said, there's the power dynamic, there's going within, and then the third one I'll share with you at the camera angle right over here. The third energy trend that will make 2020 huge for you has to do with understanding that what got you here won't get you there. This has been a powerful realization in my life, and also there's been many people actually in my life that I'm noticing this in, and this is more relevant in my life as well, so this is something I'm mentioning now. What got you here won't get you there. It is a time of expanding into the unknown, into the uncomfort zone, you could say. You're stepping out of the comfort zone. For me, I've been on YouTube for 3 years now. I have this belief, it's kind of a limiting belief, that I need to make videos every single day to keep my success going on YouTube. And I find that sometimes it burns me out a little bit, to be honest with you. And part of me is realizing that I want to do things a little bit differently, but also I know intuitively that the next level for me, is for me to branch out and to start doing live events. I know that. I've been saying that for months. And sometimes what I realize that gets kind of challenging with personal development is, even though sometimes you might know something and be aware of it, you don't always necessarily do it. Just like I know that the next step for me is also not putting putting out so much content on YouTube. Doesn't mean I would still do like 5 times a week or something like that. But I know that this belief that I always have to work hard, and because I'm realizing if I'm going to branch out into new things, I need more energy to put into the other things as well, not just on YouTube and my email list. So the reason I'm mentioning this is because I believe that 2020 is also a year of applying what you may kind of already feel within yourself. And don't judge yourself. Sometimes I judge myself. I'm like, oh, I should have already been doing this, and why do I know this, but then I'm still not actually applying this? And that's just me sharing with you that sometimes there's some stories or blocks that might be there that might be keeping us from really branching out. And 2020 is a year of branching out towards the vision, 2020 vision. So for me, that is something I'm going to do no matter, like this year, in the next couple months, is those live events. It's been planned out for a while. The first step was me moving into this house, finding a house in Vegas. I found the house, and it's now about me stepping into the unknown, which sometimes might be a little bit scary. As I put more energy into that, and traveling and doing events and working with people and getting to meet people like you in person, which would be really cool, it's gonna take away a little bit of my energy from making YouTube videos. I'll probably still make almost as many videos as I make, but it's an energy thing, and it's this realization that the paradigm you're at, it may be time to take it to another level. And if you're doing the same things every day, thinking the same thoughts every day, feeling the same emotions every day that you did in 2019, then 2020 may be the year of you breaking out of that shell, doing something that you've never done before, and trusting that process too. The unknown sometimes comes with a perception of risk, but I think that 2020 is really going to be powerful. For anyone watching this video, remember, you can only perceive that which you are the vibration of. And I think that 2020 is also a year of raising our dominant vibration. And that means that as we raise our energy, we then perceive of a reality that is more in alignment of what we want. The thing that Bashar said in his talk is that 2020 is going to be nuts. There's going to be a lot of change, but what he said is, like the eye of a storm, remain in that neutral point. Observe what happens. Things might get a little nutty. You may notice people acting out against you. I think that the people that are, that may be a little bit more caught up in the 3D mentality of duality in a way, and like reacting to everything, they may have a little bit of a rougher time. But if you're watching this video, then you're someone that has the awareness that you can observe that rather than react. And then put your energy where you choose to put it rather than where society, the media, and anyone else tells you to put it. But in 2020, it's a year of you really branching out and raising that dominant vibration. And if you haven't seen yet, I posted a video on January 1st titled "This Meditation Will Raise Your Dominant Vibration Permanently." And it's got amazing response from people. Listen to that for 21 days. It will change your dominant vibration. Read the comments to see what's possible. I'll link that in the top of the description box below. And I have a question for you. What theme do you see happening in the year 2020? What theme do you see in your life? And is there any of these that I mentioned that really resonates with you? You can leave it in the comments below. I would love to interact and see those as well. And other than that, as always, I'll see you on the next video. Peace, much love, and namaste.